So the next speaker is Faris Ansari, who is going to talk about his journey of building the new dashboard of Frappe Cloud and Frappe UI.
Okay. Okay. So this talk is about building UI without writing UI. You might think that is counterintuitive, me being a UI engineer, but you will see. Okay, so I'm Faris. I've been building user interfaces for more than 7 years now at Frappe. At one time, I was also a Frappe Cloud engineer. Along with Aditya, I built the initial version of Frappe Cloud. He built the architecture, I built the UI. I think I spent 1.5 years building the UI from scratch because it was new stack. So structuring the files. So then after some time I left the team, and when I came back 3 years later, I mean the UI code was a mess. The code didn't stand test of time. As Ankush said, if you write maintainable code, it should last 5 years, right? My code didn't last, so that was the problem. And for a large amount of time, I was frustrated with the people who were writing that code. I mean, why are you not writing the correct code? That was my frustration, but the problem was different. So, sharing some screenshots. This is the site list. Some of you might be familiar with this if you are using Frappe Cloud. This is the site list. This is the bench list. So both of them are lists, and this is, I'm just showing overall code of site list, bench list, and server list. Just try to see what changes.
Indentation.
So that is a feature of UI code because you write HTML. But the thing is, every screen has the same layout, right? Header, the filter bar, and then the list. So site list, bench list, server list, all the pages that have a list have the same structure. So why have 3 different files for the same list view? This is what was happening. So when I was there in Frappe Cloud team, I created sites.view. Then I also created a reusable bench view, and then came servers, then came code spaces, then came marketplace, then came a lot of things. All of them were copy-pasted version of the existing files. So as Ankush said, the pattern that was set, it was getting repeated. So that led to very small problems like this. Can you see the problem? Yeah. I don't like that 1 pixel off. So I was very frustrated. But then we took a different approach. So yeah, these were the problems: duplication of code, inconsistencies in UI, and it also resulted in slow shipping. And all the time I blamed the people who wrote that code, but it was not their fault, because they want to write the other useful stuff, which is the architecture and the configuration files. So we took another approach which was inspired by Frappe Framework's auto-generated views, and this came to me because I have been at Frappe for 7 years, and we have this framework muscle that we have built. So any new code that we write, we automatically think how to convert this into a kind of a framework. So I'm going to show you some code. Before that, how many of you have seen the new dashboard? It was just I put the try button this week, so some of you might have seen it. So this is how it looks. The side list is the bench list. Server list, I don't have any servers. And billing and settings are one-time pages. So what I'm going to show you is how to add a new type of object in the so we don't have full parity yet, so we don't have the marketplace tab. So I'm going to build that right now. Let's see what it takes in the new system. So okay. So I'll start with this file. So this is site.js. This is located in objects.
Size okay or you want zoom?
One level zoom. Better? Okay. So this is the structure. So I literally created a src2 folder to write everything from scratch. Yeah, so I'll show you how the site file looks. So this is the overall structure. It's a JS object. You define which doc type it is. You define the whitelisted method that you want to call. You define the list configuration. You define the create configuration, create site. You also define the detail configuration, which is when you click on a site, the detail pages are also auto-generated by a configuration. And this is some custom route stuff. We'll check that later. So these are the three important things. And this is how it is structured. So instead of showing you, let me build it. So I'm going to build marketplace pages. So I'll call it app.js. And all I have to do is export an object. The doc type is marketplace app, and I want the list to be at route apps. What else do I need? So the new framework is optimized for copying. So you look at the other configuration files, and I want a title. And I will also add columns just to see something. Field name would be title, I think. So let's try this. Yeah, it doesn't do anything because it is not fully magic. I have to import it. Bear with me, this is just 6 months old. So yeah, I imported the app, I declared it as an object, and let me see. So I have to add the object in the sidebar also. This could have been auto added, but for now we have to add it manually. It's in navigation items. So yeah, this is a list of sidebar items, and we have added the apps, and it routes to /apps, which we declared in the file. So we see this, and out of the box you can't access anything. So because Frappe Cloud, because all of these doc types has sensitive data in the fields also, so everything is opt-in. So you have to define which fields you want to expose to the dashboard. So I'll go to marketplace app.py, and these fields are, I think I've added them here, but I think I have to whitelist the doc type. So this is client.py, which is specifically written for Frappe Cloud. So all of the doc types that are explicitly mentioned, only those are exposed to be queried by the client. So I'll whitelist marketplace app. Now I should see something. Okay. So for the list to work, I have to also define the detail. Yes, that is what I want. And I'll also add title field. This should be enough. Yes. So now I can see the list of apps. So these are being fetched from this doc type. I have some apps added. How can we make this better? Add more columns. So I already have a reference file so that you don't have to see me type all of that and explain interesting things. So I've added status, field and description. So just by doing this configuration, you get this beautiful list. The second column, status, is rendered as a batch because there are some automatic components that get defined by the type. So if you say type batch, it will render the batch component. And we also have some width customization, and this comes from list view component in Frappe UI. That is how it works. So I also want to add the logo before the title. So I use another feature called prefix, and I'll render an image. So H is view is a function from view. So we are used to writing templates, right? But ultimately by the compiler they are converted to H functions. This is just a function that returns a V node, virtual node, that view understands and then how to render it. So we can also use the direct H function to create small components like this. So if everything works, okay, it does not work. That is because I have to fetch the fields. Okay, so I have to explain this. So in the columns, I define the field name. So the framework knows which fields to fetch, but I didn't show the image anywhere. So for fields like that, I have to explicitly define them. So now it will look like that. So I think so. Yeah, I mean, 5 minutes, we're already at a good start. Now we have to take care of the detail. So I haven't defined any tabs. You saw tabs in other objects right here. So let me define some tabs. So again, tab overview with a route, and then I need a plans tab so that I can define plans for my app. I'll keep these two for now. So first I'll implement plans tab, because overview is usually a tab where you show charts and insights. So those can't really be generated by configuration. So we'll take up plans first. So plans again can be a list view, right? So for list, I can just say type list, and I can define how to render, where to get the data to render that list. So yeah, this is what I want. I'll also add columns. So in marketplace plan doc type, I have to whitelist the fields that I want to access on the dashboard. So title, Indian price, USD price. So here I'll set this. Not working because not whitelisted the doc type. So I'll whitelist all of them that I'm going to use here. So now it should work. Yeah. So if you see the pattern is start with something very basic and then add frills to it. So we'll now format this. So there's a format function. So the first is value, and then I have some, okay, you can use this, but I have a currency function that works just like this. I have to import it. It's in the format file. So does it work? Yes. Similar for USD. So now I want to show you how you can do some actions. So how to create a new plan. To do that, I'll just add a configuration primary action, which is a function, and then you return values that can render that button. So I'll also add variant. Let's see if this adds it. Yes. So you see the primary button added. You can add one click. So what I want to do here is, when I click the button, I want to see a dialog. I want to render the plan title, then these two values, and then create the plan. So I have a function. Actually, I have a better function called ConfirmDialog. Naming could be better, but you'll see how it works. So add plan, fields. Yes. So let's see if this works. No, ConfirmDialog I have to import. Yes, components. So yeah, didn't even have to write the dialog code. So I think this is similar to frappe.ui.dialog, and yeah, now we can add more things to this. So when ConfirmDialog is submitted, there's a confirm button automatically added if you don't add it. So use that. And the on success function returns value. So I'll just console log it for now. Something like this. So I get the object like this. So all of this is done by the dialog. What I want to show you here is I don't even have to write any backend code for this. So what I can do here is get. So this game plan app is a marketplace app, and that object is already fetched and ready for you to use. So it is called document resource because this is a generic framework. It doesn't know what kind of document it is, so the naming is document resource. But then using JS features, you can rename the variable like this, and I can use app dot insert dot submit, and I'll just quickly check. I think the fields are title and our that's it. And okay, let's see if this works. Let me see if I'm doing something wrong. Okay, so it's not app, it's plans. Okay, I made a mistake. So the plan I want to create a plan, not an app. So I made a mistake there. So this list that you define, that is also an object called list resource that you can rename to plans. Now I can do plans dot insert. Okay, something is working. Features, okay, it also needs features. I forgot about that. Let me quickly add that. So features is a child table. So to handle that, features equal to values dot features dot split. So it's a child table with description of each feature. So support better SLA, something like that. Okay, I did not pass it, sorry. At this point I should probably copy paste it. But let me try once again. Yeah. Let me just copy paste it. I think I did. Okay, I did not pass the app. So app I'll get from here. Anyway, let me something that I was missing. But yeah, this is how you can add, and the query that it sent was this Frappe API client insert, and the values were sent like this. Similarly, we can also add delete. I'll also just show how so you just have to write this function, row actions. So for each row you can define actions that you want to perform on the row, and this will also go below the list configuration. So it's a row actions function. Again, it gets the context with list resource and the current row, and here I'm defining delete. On click there is a confirm dialog, the same dialog, and then on success I just do branch.delete.submit. So you will get all of this, and I can delete it. So I think you get the gist of how. I think I didn't even write any UI code. I just wrote JavaScript, and I think this file is too big, but 100 lines of this versus 100 lines of Vue template code, I mean, this is better. Okay, so now I want to switch gears. I want to show you how all of this works. How much time do I have? Okay. Anyway, if you are familiar with Vue apps, you are familiar with the main.js file, right? So I'm not going to tell you what this is because it's standard bootstrapping stuff. The interesting part is the router file. So in most Vue tutorials you have seen you have to define the routes like this, and then it's all what you say, it's not dynamic, but you can do dynamic stuff, they just don't tell you about it. So there's a generate routes function that looks at the objects and see which configuration is defined. So for example, if list is defined, we'll generate the list route and put it into an array, and it's the same configuration, but all of this happens automatically. And if you see, there is one component for the list page, one component for the new screen page, one component for the detail tab. So literally there are 4 components that are driving all of this. So what I want to show now is how to add a framework type feature in this framework. So there are inline filters missing in this. So I want to be able to, for example, let's add another tab that I have ready, so we don't waste time with that. The other tab is releases. Okay. So I'm adding another tab. So the app also has releases. Okay, icon is not defined. Releases. I didn't tell you about the icon, but you can also define an icon for the tab. Releases. And this is how you do it. You just pass an icon component. Icon is a helper, another helper that creates that component. Okay, so this is another list which renders from app release. We have some filters. What I want to be able to do is define UI filters, and then they should show up somewhere here, and then I should be able to filter. So that is a framework type of filter which is missing, that I am going to add right now. So we have the configuration that looks like this. It is called UI filters because we already have filters that gets passed automatically to the list. So UI filters are filters that user will interact with. So using this configuration, I want to render something. So the list component is object list, which takes the options and then renders everything. So beside this search component, which is this, I want to render those form controls. So probably I'll do form control, which is a component in Frappe UI, and I'll just loop over all the filters that are passed here. So filter in UI filters. This does not exist anywhere. I'll create it. Yes. UI filters. I should also test. I should also be ready for lists that don't define this. So handling that and then passing this dot context. This dot context is the object that gets passed to every function so that you get useful objects there to use. So now I'll actually just return this. And filter.type. Okay, that is wrong. Yeah, we see something. So, I mean, this is how I will approach adding that feature. So I already have this ready. So I can explain you how it works. So it's a simple form control. That renders over the UI filters, setting the type options. And then when that value changes, I do something. So on filter change, there is a function which I need to add. So on filter change, I set some local variable which is user filters, and then I update the internal list and then I reload the list. Hopefully this works. So now, I mean, the powerful thing is I can go back to site.js. Let's see which one. Domain. Yeah. I can add that here also. The configuration. Options. What are domain options? Site domain. Pending in progress. Designate this. Anything else do I need to define? Nope. I think type select. Should work here as well. So yeah. So build UI without writing UI. So some of the styling is left, but yeah, you can do that. I think that's my talk. If you have any questions. No. That is flex justify between. So the correct thing to do is this. I don't want justify. So when I didn't add this feature, justify between was perfect. But when I add it, I have to make some changes. So now I have to push these to the right without using justify between, and that we can do with I think ML auto. Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting that question. I think this can very well go in that direction. I think this has better UX. The API needs to be sorted out, needs to be better. I see a lot of inconsistency in the API, but that can be fleshed out. But yeah, I can see this replacing desk in the future.
This is built on the Espresso.
Yes, so internally, wherever it makes sense, we use Frappe UI Components. So the list view that you see is coming from Frappe UI NPM package, which is this one. So I didn't even have to build the list. So it already comes out of the box. It has this prefix features, width features. I think it already also has this resize feature. Sharik made this component. So I think we have cool components here.
So maybe I am not that informed, but Frappe UI and Espresso are two different completely layers of what we use. So Espresso is more to kind of calculate the ground level, native level, and Frappe
See,
UI is the commons.
Espresso is a design system. Design system. Yeah, okay. Sorry. It's always open in my Figma. So, yeah. So, it just defines what a medium size button should be, what the size should be, what the border radius should be. We have all of that in the Figma file, and then that is implemented in Frappe UI. So, if you use Frappe UI, you are kind of using Espresso.
So Espresso is more of native components like your text boxes,
Correct.
buttons, and checkboxes.
So any items, tokens, molecules, everything.
So tokens are colors, font sizes, yeah, the color scale.
So then you will have a theme in which you will define multiple tokens, and you have a theme and then you use that across.
Correct. So all of that, we use Tailwind to implement this design system. So yeah, there's a config file and you use the values.
Espresso was designed with inspiration from any existing design system, or this is completely from scratch as we built? Because the design system requires a lot of science in terms of whatever.
Yeah, so I would say, I have seen our design system mature, and I can see parallels to the previous Japanese design, even though it may look completely different. You will see that the font size, the base font size is 14px. So previously it was 13px. So it is just small minor changes on top of what we already did. Yeah. Okay. No. I'm done. Thank you.
One last question. So right now we have Frappe. Is there any plan to have that in the desk also? So for example, the grid that you showed. In the desk we have custom components written with jQuery and all that stuff, especially the grid, the form. Are there any plans to convert, let's say, we have the resize feature here. So that bring those things to
I think we are going in that direction.
Well, this is bit of Vue.js.
Yes.
Like your
That is why it's not done yet. It will take time. Okay, thank you.